We're about to hear from in today's special focus report, who was forced to marry, raped and then fell pregnant. Today is International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women, and we're marking it here on France 24 with this special report from Cameroon, in fact, where many women go through the ancient practice of forced marriage, suffering serious consequences to their mental and physical health. Sarah Sacco and Josh Vardy have this report for us.
A practice that is as taboo as it is widespread. In the privacy offered by a hotel room, this woman's agreed to describe her experiences of arranged marriage.
It was my father who forced me to do it, but he regretted it afterwards. The first day, my new husband tried to sleep with me, but I refused. The second day, it was the same. We fought. On the third day, he had me. He hit me everywhere. I couldn't move. That's how he raped me. I didn't want to stay, but I became pregnant. I had to stay then. I think I've ruined my life.
In her story of rape and physical abuse, Isa is far from the only one. In the marginalised far north of Cameroon, traditions like arranged marriage are firmly held onto. According to statistics from NGOs campaigning against the practice, 1 in 2 girls could be affected by the issue. Despite general indifference, there are some who've decided to fight the ancient custom. Behind these walls sits one of the only places women like Isa can go. Here, they've been receiving victims of arranged marriage for more than 15 years.
We offer supervision and monitoring to women and girls who have suffered under arranged marriages. They are victims of physical, psychological and economic abuse. They think they'll commit suicide if they continue in that situation.
This morning, the social worker had an appointment with Celine, a teenager who narrowly escaped an arranged marriage.
A guy I met suddenly decided to marry me. I had to flee town. I went to stay at a cousin's nearby. I was there for 2 years before going back. This association, AVLF, Fighting Violence Against Women, helped me financially in many ways. They hosted me and paid my tuition. That's how I stayed in school. To help more girls find their way to education, the NGO informs women and communities of their rights, a way of changing their mentality.
To help more girls find their way into education, the NGO informs women and communities of their rights, as a way of changing their mentality.
So when a boy wants to have a girl, he waits until she's coming back from the market or from school. He catches her and he rapes her, and then he says, "Go home, go home." And because the parents don't want that, some of them say, "I don't want this to happen again." And just like that, he's found a wife. Do you think that's good? No, it's not good, it's serious. The goal of this workshop is for them to learn to recognise abuse of girls and to develop strategies to fight these abuses. For example, in the Civil Code of Cameroon, there's a rule that says you can only marry a girl who is at least 15 years old, but on the ground that's being ignored. And our role is to put a stop to this.
Fighting against forced marriage in Cameroon's north will be a long struggle. According to NGOs, the practice has been increasing due to food insecurity and the rise of religious extremism in this region that touches the north of Nigeria.
Josh Vardy and Sarah Sacco with that report there. Now we're going to go to sport for you. Rugby coming up in just a moment. It starts today, though, with the football.
In French football, Lille scored to beat Toulouse with a late goal from Pape Soirée. Lille are 4 points behind leaders Paris Saint-Germain, who won at Reims on Saturday. Monaco are a further point back in third. Saint-Etienne's 1-0 win at Nice was overshadowed by crowd trouble from their fans, who were thrown out after injuring 9 other supporters. In the Bundesliga, Mainz beat Werder Bremen 3-2 away to go 7th. Nikolai Müller gave them a great start in 7 minutes with this superb lob over Sebastian Mielitz after a perfect through ball by Sebastian Polter. After doubling their lead, Mainz's Japanese striker Shinji Okusaki made it 3-0, side-footing Stefan Bell's cross. Bremen pulled the goal back when Eliero Elia scored from close range. Franco Di Santo gave Bremen hope, but it was too little too late, 3-2 to Mainz. Vitesse Arnhem have been enjoying a successful stint at the top of the Dutch Eredivisie. On Sunday, they visited newly promoted Go Ahead Eagles, looking to move back on top. 11 minutes before the break, they were awarded a penalty. Denis Turuk sent off for that foul on Mike Havanah. Brazilian teenager Lucan Pierson, on loan from Chelsea, converted the penalty. The referee then gave Vitesse another spot kick when Eagles' Job van der Linden handled 5 minutes before half-time. His decision enraged the home fans. Flares were thrown and the game was stopped for 5 minutes, angering Eagles coach Foki Boy. When the players returned, Pierson buried the spot kick to make it 2-0. Gael Kakuta, also on loan from Chelsea, conjured up fancy footwork before closing the deal after the hour. Classic goal from the French striker. 3-0 it ended. Vitesse go back top with 27 points from 14 games. On to Belgium, where Jupiler League leaders Standard Liège hosted Mons, still looking for their first win of the season, propping up the table with 3 points. Wasn't an easy night for Standard. They had to wait till 5 minutes before half-time to break the deadlock. Julien Dessart getting the goal, the 18-year-old's first ever at this level. Great finish, and that was the final score. Liège winning 1-0 to stay top of the table. World Cup host Brazil have unveiled their new kit on the famous Copacabana beach in Rio de Janeiro. Wolfsburg midfielder Luis Gustavo showed off the famous yellow shirt to be worn by the players of the Seleção on the pitches of Brazil's famous stadiums next summer as they bid for a 6th World Cup success. Their coach Luis Felipe Scolari has warned his rivals they aim to make one alteration to the shirt next year by adding another star to the 5 already existing. Sebastian Vettel completed his domination of the Formula One season. The German had already secured his 4th world title, and at the final race in Brazil won his 9th consecutive Grand Prix. It was his 39th career victory, his 2nd in Brazil, and his 13th win this season. Mark Webber, in his final Grand Prix, completed a Red Bull 1-2, with Fernando Alonso 3rd, and he finished 2nd overall. Nico Rosberg's 5th place, good enough for Mercedes to take 2nd behind Red Bull in the Constructors' Championship. Biathlon from Östersund in Sweden, and the Czech Republic won the season-opening mixed relay event. It was a blow for the French quartet who'd led for most of the race. In the second leg, Marie Dorin boasted a 51-second lead. Martin Fourcade, who dominated the men's competition last season, skied off at the final leg in complete control. But the Frenchman missed 3 of his 5 targets in the final standing range shooting in the wind, enabling Andrzej Moravec to skate out of the stadium with a 10-second lead to secure victory for the Czech Republic. Norway snatching 2nd from France. The opening event of the World Cup ski jump season was cut short, but that won't concern Christoph Biegun too much. The pole winning in the German resort of Klingenthal, but only after the 2nd round was cancelled. The 19-year-old, in his 2nd World Cup event only, leapt 142.5 metres to seize the lead after the 1st round. His nearest rival was German Andreas Bellinger, who produced 132 metres. Throughout the round, there was concern over the weather. Snow was falling, winds picking up and blowing across the piste. After a lengthy delay, the 2nd round was cancelled, giving Biegun an unexpected victory.
That's the latest sport for you here on France 24. A little bit of snow getting us in the festive spirit. That's all from me for this hour on Live from Paris. I'm going to be back, of course, with another edition in an hour's time. Melissa here with the next hour, though, including the latest from Ukraine, in fact, as pro-Western protesters say they will continue their efforts to get the government to sign an agreement with the EU rather than turn to Russia. She'll talk to our correspondent, Gulliver Cragg, in Kiev, after the break on France 24. So don't go away.